It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. So, Cory, tell us a little bit about what with the insurance world shakedown.
Yeah. So, it's pretty straightforward and simple. Every decision and time that I've gone to a new agency in my career, which now has been 3 different times, I've been doing things that have been driving results. So, at one, I built my own program. I left the first one because expansion wasn't where I wanted it to be. Then I built my own program. Then I was recruited to come into an already existing program. Money was a factor in some of it, right? My wife and I are pretty young and having kids and a family and so on and so forth. And I finally got to the point in my career where I needed to make a shift and a change for culture and happiness and pride and feeling good. And so what I did was I took a decent amount of time to vet what I wanted to do and where I wanted to do it at. And I ended up at WA Group out of Minneapolis. They're headquartered out of Winona, Minnesota. We have an office up here in Minneapolis.
What does
I still work remote.
What does WA stand for? What's the WA for?
So it's the Winona Agency down in Winona.
Winona Agency Group.
Yeah, it used to be the Winona Agency. It was rebranded. But getting back to the whole point of why I went there, they are a 100% owned ESOP, which was a big deal for me. I loved that idea. I always have loved the idea because I feel like people have a little bit more vested interest in how the agency is going to perform. There's not many of them around, and it was important for me to get involved. I also was looking for a new culture shift, one that really wanted to innovate and grow. I've talked about this on the show before, but at the end of the day, the insurance world and industry is relatively archaic. They're focused on process and policies. And if you're not an advisor and a true risk manager for businesses, you're not doing enough. And so I made the change. I am taking their already existing workers' compensation program called Vast Injury Management and expanding on it, and still going to be doing fee-based consulting as well as insurance placements. WA Group's been around since 1893, so they have a little history to them.
They're right up there with Grandma Pat. They're right up there with Grandma Pat.
Right up there with Grandma Pat. And they have a lot of great people around them. There's a relatively new CEO that came in to replace the retiring CEO about 2.5 years ago. And his vision and goals and just overall outlook on life is something that really caught my attention and made me excited about going to work for them and building some unique special things. So that was the process and the decision behind the process. And now I'm moving forward and rocking and rolling. I'm on day 5 right now.
I was gonna say you're officially gainfully employed. I haven't seen an AOR from you yet, by the way.
Yeah, so I had like 75 hours of onboarding training to do. And it's like weird stuff.
I'm just making statements. I'm not saying you suck. I'm just saying
right.
Maybe it got lost.
Nope, I got a few things I got to sort out on that, but it'll be there soon, Dan.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I did a training the other day. It's kind of funny. It said word for word while I was doing the training, while sitting in your office, this was a sexual harassment training, it is inappropriate to slap the buttocks of someone in your office. That's how it was written. And I was like, man,
that was written in 1893. That was written when they first started in 1893.
Right. And in 1893, they didn't work at home with their wives. I was like, I've violated this policy like 8 times in the last week. Right. She walks by me all the time. So I was feeling all uncomfortable and weird, but no, it's good. It's a lot of fun. I don't want to forget this. Corey was the name I was born with. People that know me are going to find this to be a shocking story, but I was in kindergarten in Wausau, Wisconsin. There was another kid, Corey. I didn't like sharing my name with someone, so I started spelling it Cory. Over and over and over again, wouldn't put the E in no matter what. Turns out I can be a bit stubborn. No idea why people think that, but it's true. So in 6th grade, my stepfather legally adopted my younger sister and I signed the document while I was in 6th grade, hooray, I want to be adopted by this awesome guy. And the judge was like, you got to re-sign it. You spelled your name wrong. And my mom was like, don't even get us started. And she explained the story to the judge, and the judge like, well, do you just want to change his first name too? And she was like, oh, please, yes. And so they legally changed my first name because I refused to put an E in it. And so it's been Cory ever since.
I like it.
That's a great story, Cory. That is awesome. I wish I had a cool story like that.
Yeah. And that stubbornness is how I fight for my clients. You know, like some like business. You
need
I
a
never
billboard.
give up.
You need a billboard. Yeah.
Right. I need a
Wait,
billboard.
okay,
So
you
yeah.
can
Be an attorney.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. And the other fun thing about this job, I'll just throw in there because everybody that comes on this show or that we talk to is in different parts of business. The sales staff at the new agency I'm going to is actually kind of in a turnover mode where it's a lot of relatively new people to the industry, young people, ones that haven't really come out of, what I would call that beaten and bruised sales stage yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I love teaching and I love working with younger people to help them get better at their craft and improve on what they're doing. There was a leadership role that was tied to my job that would allow me to get more involved with the younger people and help kind of shepherd them through the challenges that you face when you try to call business owners like Dave and he just hangs up on you because he's not interested, right?
Oh, Dave's totally gonna hang up on your ass.
Yeah. Any jerk owner like that, right? And so that's a really fun part of my job that I get to do here that I've never been able to do before, other than a few one-off instances. And that excites me. It gives me another reason to wake up in the morning and get pumped up about what I do. So that's it in a nutshell, Dan.
Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one or check out this one and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.